It must be Thursday, Rob. We're back again. What's going on? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here. And there's so much to dig into today. I mean, nonstop. How about Bellator? MVP shows why he's the MVP when he rearranges noses. We'll get to that. Then there's our buddy Rumble Johnson, man. Victorious in his debut, but then arrested immediately afterwards.
What happened, man?
That's like, it's insane, all the stuff that's going on. I mean, even more than that. How about this? I'm not going to do it to you, but I want to so bad. Sure, yes, sir. Got you hot. Talk about Jake Paul, Floyd Mayweather, all that drama. There's so much stuff to uncover with that. And then we had Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders. You know, Canelo proved again why he's pound for pound the best fighter in boxing. But Billy Joe Saunders, what happened with him? Could he have continued? We'll get into that. I don't think that's even smart to speculate when we find out what happened to him. Also, we're going to have, I'm excited for this, love it, the monster, Uly Diaz, the #1 ranked middleweight contender in the world for BKFC. He's going to be joining us for an interview later today, too.
Can't wait to chat with him,
There's so much. We'll do a watch-along today. You get some free fight content on here as well.
Awesome.
You know, it's good times. We are here. Rob, get a shot. What are you doing today? What is this?
All right, I'm giving away, and I might be the only person in
Trucker
the world
Rob
knows why I'm wearing this and
I know.
what movie this is from. So if the first person that can comment correctly, and it's not Super Mario Brothers, wear this outfit, what movie this is from, we're giving them a free T-shirt.
It took me a minute, but when you did something, when I walked in, you did one thing, you changed the outfit a little bit, and right away, I knew. I laughed. It's a great thing. It's really good. So comment in the comment section what Rob is dressed like today, from what movie we're saying.
What movie?
Give him a hint. It's a
What
movie.
movie? What character? Absolutely.
At first, once they comment, I'll get more into it, but I thought you were someone else at first, and now I realize why you are who you are. He's not a truck driver, I promise you that. He looks like one.
I can drive a truck,
You
man.
probably
I
could.
can drive it like it's hot.
I drive it like, listen to this guy. All right, so let's get into it, man. Bellator.
Yeah, speaking of hot.
Bellator was a hot night.
Yeah,
it was a great night.
What a great night of fights.
MVP. We have a photo here. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I didn't watch the whole thing live. I saw the photo on Twitter, and I was like, "Is that real?" Look at this. Watch this. Look at that kick. Look at that kick right over the nose.
Aside from being a showman, which a lot of people don't like, because he's a character in that ring, man. He reminds me of old school Anderson Silva, where he was just faster than the Matrix. You know, he's Neo in there, and he makes people look like they shouldn't even be in the same stratosphere with him. But man, that kick that he landed, oh, that's brutal, dude.
Well, obviously, look what we're showing here. I don't know if you can see it on your monitor, right by your face there. That nose is caved in. Now, is there any picture of his nose after? Did they have to rebuild it? What happened here? That's insane.
You better get a good plastic surgeon, man.
Oh my God.
Great fight. Another win underneath his belt. 175-pounder.
He's got to lose all his cartilage in his nose. He's gonna be able to like push it to the side probably. I know
They
a guy
probably
that's
have to
going to do
rebuild that, man.
Well, they might not if he's a fighter. I know a guy that broke his nose so many times in fighting that he could just kind of go like this, and he showed me. It blew my mind. His nose was just a piece of skin, and he pushed it over. His name's Joey.
Does it disintegrate? Is that what? Because my understanding with cauliflower ears, it's all cartilage, and what happens is the fighting, the wrestling, and the damage that occurs when it heals over, it's just fragments. It's just bits and pieces. So it never really. It never really heals. Yeah,
unless you get something done with it, maybe. I know it can mess your hearing up and everything. I don't get cauliflower ears from wearing headphones.
You might have to get that nose reconstructed. Dude, after that.
I don't know if they can do it. We'll wait and see. But I mean, that was killer. I've never seen anything like that where he just caved the guy's nose in. I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah,
it was crazy. And then from there, by the way, I have to go on record. I love his showmanship. I'm a big showmanship guy. I love it, and I have no problem. We all know what's going on. It's like the Floyd Mayweather stuff. It's like the Conor McGregor stuff for the most part. But if it's real, it's almost this guy's so crazy.
That's scary.
That's real.
That's scary that he actually toys around with his opponents like that.
Yeah.
He basically can do whatever he wants in there, and he lands with some highly flashy knockout material. And he's a highlight reel, man. He's exciting to watch. He's exciting for sure.
He's very exciting to watch. So we'll keep up with him. So many more noses he can destroy. But another guy who got a knockout, making his, I believe it was his Bellator debut.
Anthony Rumble Johnson, man.
Rumble Johnson.
Big fan of BKFC, big fan of his.
Yeah, he's been to some of our events and stuff. He's watched. I've seen him at weigh-ins. He's typically a really nice guy to be around, and he drops so much weight. He looks different.
He does, man.
I mean, it's unbelievable. He looks like a different person. You can see his cheekbones now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So he had the big win. And then immediately after the big, and I don't want to diminish that, big win. Debut win, congratulations. But immediately afterwards, what happens, Rob?
He gets arrested?
That's what I hear.
Arrested at the casino for identity theft? Wow. One of the things, and I want to touch on this really fast, I don't know the specifics to it. I don't know what happened, what occurred. But one of the things I don't like, though, whether it's Rumble Johnson or anybody else, is in America, we're innocent until proven guilty.
Not anymore.
We are innocent until proven guilty. Like, so I get it. You know, he was arrested. He was, you know, charged for whatever he's charged with. Give him his day in court. Let him prove his case. Let him meet his accusers in a court of law.
It's only fair.
Yeah, let's give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Let's not just automatically write him or anybody else off. I think we're too quick to do that nowadays. So
I do too.
That's my 2 cents on
That's
on
your 2
that.
cents. I'll take 5 cents from you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents, Rob. I like your 2 cents. Listen,
I
the other
do
thing
have,
is,
I'm
you had a
sorry to cut you off.
statement.
Yeah. Yep.
I was gonna say you had a statement. Go for it. What do you have?
All right, so this is from Anthony Rumble Johnson, May 11th, 9:13 p.m. He posted on his Facebook page, always an obstacle to overcome. People will always try to test your character. Don't let them get the best of you. Some things are so far-fetched that you can't even get upset. And, you know, you have tons of comments. What happened? Give us the, you know, the rundown. And he's, you know, gone silent. And I'd love to get his take on it.
would
and
too.
See how this evolves.
Now, I'm not going to speak for him because I don't know him that well. This is just my thing I've seen in my life happen. If this is true, what I read, and I only read it in one news source, so I am not going on record with this. It was something to do with credit cards or something, right? Okay. Identity theft. I can tell you that I knew somebody that got hit with identity theft for credit cards as well. Now, what happened with them was the fact that they were always with this woman, and they were with this woman for a long time. They were never married. They then used the woman's credit cards to buy tickets or buy something that she gave him permission to do. This is a completely different story. And then they tried to get him for credit card fraud. He got off. So I don't know, is it someone he knows credit card he used? Is it someone that maybe it's a woman or one of his friends trying to kind of get some, I don't know. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, there's
revenge for something.
There's a ton of speculation out there. There's a ton of speculation. It's very difficult if you want to get away with a crime to give your full name, your address, and you're basically telling people like, hey, this is where I live, this is my name, and I'm confirming that I'm stealing something right now. So
Rumble couldn't be that dumb. I mean, he's well known. He's not a guy that's going to fly under the radar if he has a brain in his head, which it seems like he does when I talk to him. So you would think it's some kind of misunderstanding, but I don't know. We're going to wait and see. And I'm excited. Hopefully Rumble clears his name because I think he's a great guy.
Yeah, as this story unfolds, we'll update all the viewers.
All right, I agree. And also unfolding in the boxing world, man.
Man.
Did you watch that Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders?
I did. I thought it was really competitive. I thought Billy Joe Saunders was pretty competitive up until, you know, it was kind of back and forth. I looked at the judges' scorecards. I had it a little bit more even than they did. They had Canelo I think Canelo ahead 4-2, 4 rounds over 2. Yeah. But, you know, it looked like that, you know, he's picking Canelo apart. He was slowing down a little bit, but then, I don't know, Canelo just saw something. He felt something, and he landed that knockout.
I don't know.
Knockout.
I don't know if Canelo felt it. I know what you mean. He felt something.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
tell you, Billy Joe really
it.
felt something. He felt something in his face hard. And, I mean, he has all kinds of injuries in that face from those shots. A broken cheekbone or something, his eye bone or orbital.
Broken eye socket, broken orbital.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, and because what can happen? Like your eye can slide down if they don't fix that.
So I know this because I go back to my pro wrestling knowledge. The Undertaker had his orbital broken, and he said it was like his eye almost fell out of his head.
Yeah,
and he didn't realize how dangerous it was. So your eye can fall out of your head. It's no joke. I mean, that's why if you notice in fights, I've seen it, and I think bare knuckle before in other fights, if the cut gets too close to the eye too, they don't want to damage the eye. That's a big problem. I mean, that could be irreversible. So there's no way he could have continued. It's a shame because I was enjoying the fight as you were. And I'm curious in the chat what you think. Do you think that it was closer with the scorecards than the judges had it? We'd love to hear from you about that too. I mean, it's always good to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I guess Billy Joe Saunders was just trolling people before this fight, calling them quitters. They should be able to tough it out. But I think they did the right thing. And while you're watching it, of course, you always want the fighter to give it their all. And you don't know the severity of the damage.
No, not until afterwards. And when you hear it, sometimes you're like, whoa.
But you can kind of look at it. If you look at the photos, his face is sunken in, man. That's severe. And people are like, oh, he should have continued. You should have continued. All right, man, you go in there and you get punched by Canelo.
Right. As
see what happens.
As you have your beer on the couch and eat your pizza and chips and have your gambling bets in, you can go out there and do it. The other thing is, I mean, think how hard you have to be hit to do that kind of damage. I mean, I know it's fighting. I know it's combat sports. Again, I've never done true combat sports, but to do that kind of damage, it's like a truck hit him in the face.
Yeah. I mean, well, Canelo hits like a truck. That guy's no joke, man.
I wouldn't take a shot from him. I wouldn't take a shot from you. I wouldn't take a shot from anybody. I take a shot from myself.
Now he's Not undefeated. I'm sorry, lost to Mayweather. But now pound for pound, and he's looking to unify it, or he's not. I thought I read an article that he may be unifying it. We'll see. He turned down like a $40 million fight or something. I mean,
can you imagine?
Hey man, I got $40 million for you to fight. No, I'm good. I'm gonna take something else. I wish I had that luxury to turn down a $40 million contract.
I've never trained boxing a day in my life. If they offered me $40 million to go in there, I would just go. Let's go. Beat me to a pulp. Even if I die, give it to my family. I'd be a happy man.
That's right.
I just got life insurance. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, so they'd make double the money, hopefully.
Yep.
You want to talk about a guy who has no fear, seemingly. Who knows if he really does? He doesn't seem like he does. Jake Paul. Got your hat. Got your hat.
Man.
He's a wrestling bad guy, essentially. He's doing everything to press everybody's buttons. Gotcha. I must have watched that 5 times. And Rob, immediately afterwards, I tweeted, "Got your hat."
Yeah, all right. So I think everyone has seen this. Those that did not see this, he's giving his interview about Logan Paul. They had their face off, and out of nowhere, one of the reporters asked, "Would you fight them both?" He said, "I'll fight them in the same night. They're not real fighters." So Jake Paul hears it. He comes over. All right, let's do it. 2 in 1 night. Sign the contract.
Well, you know what? Here it is. We're looking at it now. I don't know if you have audio of that, but here it comes.
I mean, that's like middle school.
I love it. Back in middle school, when I was in middle school, girls would take your hat and wear it. That mean they liked you.
Yeah.
So now this means he wants to get in a fight. It's completely different.
Man, I don't even I get the Jake Paul take on it. I get the antics, the trolling is on a whole other level. But if I was Mayweather, man, I'm like, you grab my hat.
Mayweather doesn't want to be disrespected. He's got a little bit of an ego, and I also think that Mayweather's smart. He probably knows this can build a fight. So they were talking about
he paid for it, man. He got socked. Jake Paul got a black eye, and
that black eye, dude. That black eye is going to be worth more than a couple $1 million, one day. And I don't think, quite frankly, that as we continue to watch this brawl here that happened, the pool part, I don't think that Jake Paul and Aaron Paul.
Logan Paul?
Logan Paul. Aaron Paul's from Breaking Bad. I always do that. I always do that. Logan Paul. I tried to pay attention to the Paul boys too much.
And the Paul father, man, they're all trolls.
My gosh, right? But I think that Floyd's smart enough to know that if rather than doing 2 in 1 night, he could 2 big buy rates each one and make double the money. He's not. I mean, you don't think 2 in 1 night would draw any different than 2 buy rates? I don't think. I think 2 separate nights. It's a good selling point, but I think 2 separate nights for more money for business.
It is, but rumor has it that Jake Paul has been banned from the fight. He cannot show up to watch Logan Paul, his brother, fight Floyd Mayweather. He's banned from the arena.
This is brilliant. You know why they're doing this? Is because now he's not going to be able to show up. Floyd's going to have the great match. They're going to make a lot of money. They're probably going to Jake's going to be on YouTube showing himself watching it from an undisclosed location, or Jake's going to show up and be carried out by the cops afterwards, which then is going to lead to the next fight with Jake Paul. I'm telling you, this is WWE Triller 101.
Are you watching the fight?
Yeah, I'm going to watch. I have to talk about it. Plus, like I said, I'm a pro wrestling guy at heart, so these storylines they're coming up with sell me. I like the smack talk.
Yeah. Are the fans going to watch it? I think that's a better question. Are the fans planning on watching this?
I think in the chat you can let us know if you're going to watch it. Now, you got to remember something. We have some fight purists in the chat. We have some fight purists that watch this. I enjoy fighting. I have a deep respect for it. But I think they're marketing to people outside of the fight purists. They think, oh, they're going to kind of just try to figure out what's happening, while the people on YouTube and stuff, they're marketing to the mainstream, not to the fight purists. So I think
how do you guys think Logan feels about it, though?
Stealing the thunder. Look at that. Producer in the ear. That's a great question. How does Logan feel about it? Well, I got to wonder if it's my brother. I'd be kind of annoyed because you have that sibling rivalry thing.
Stole it, dude. He stole the show. He stole the thunder. He's stealing everything. I mean, you're in the shadow of Logan Paul. He's the originator of the Paul brothers. And then you got to one-up him. You got to one-up your older brother at every chance, every angle. And he's doing it, man.
Let me go another direction. Maybe they're brothers and they're family and they're smarter than all of us. And we think there's some division there. And he says, you know what? Let me get on. You get your money on the fight. Let me get in and I'll give you $2 million off my fight. Let me just do a quick thing here. We got them. We're spending the money. They're businessmen. And see, that's the thing. I'd love to speak to them personally because off the record, because they're businessmen, it seems like to me, or they just snot-nosed punk that are getting lucky. That's what they want us to think. Snot-nosed punks. I think they know everything they're doing.
They do.
They do.
They're smart. They're very smart.
I think they're going to fight each other.
It's interesting you say that about fighting each other because I had thought that too in the beginning. A brother versus brother. Yeah, brother versus brother. And you know how much money they'd make? They could have the dad there as the ref.
Yeah.
They could have Mama Paul sit in front row, Wouldn't you watch that?
I don't know. I'd probably catch the replay to it. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the.
You would watch the brother versus brother.
I watched the KSI and Logan Paul because in the beginning, I follow YouTubers. I follow.
You sure do. Yeah. You love YouTubers.
So I follow some of the drama. I watched it. It was entertaining for what I got. It was a competitive fight. KSI and Logan Paul was actually a competitive fight because you have two people with no true background in combat sports. Yeah. So now to have like a Floyd Mayweather though, and then nah, it's not for me, man.
I think
I'll catch the replays. We'll talk about it. But
you're thinking about it as, in my opinion, as a guy that enjoys boxing and combat sports. I'm thinking about it as a guy that wants to watch. Most of America would want to watch the Paul. One of the Paul brothers get knocked out, get shut up. They're paying. He's saying, I'm going to get my ass kicked. I'm going to act like I'm not, but you're going to pay to watch it. And they are, and I'll pay to watch that. You know what I mean? But make sure you pay, by the way, because if you don't pay, they're going to come get you. They release that statement. They're going to come right after you and your home.
Coming for you.
You should pay. These guys are putting on something to produce. We deal with the same stuff. People out there fighting their hearts out. Whether you like the Paul brothers, whether you like Floyd Mayweather, they're out there putting it on the line, and they deserve to be paid for that. But I'm anxious to see what's going to come next for the Paul brothers, for Floyd Mayweather. Has Floyd said anything recently about the got your hat situation?
I don't think so. He said he's not getting disrespected.
He's waiting for the build up on that fight. He's not going to waste that build up yet. He's waiting for it. So that'll be fun to check out, man. And I know you're saying you're not going to watch, but then magically my phone will go zzz, zzz, and it'll be a text from Rob like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I say I'm not going to watch, but
it's what everybody does.
I'll fall in the category of tuning in for sure.
You shouldn't feel bad. Everyone's curious.
I like competitive fighting, man. If there's a good story behind it, that's even better. But when it's non-competitive and it's one-sided. I mean, I really have to be in the right mindset to watch a fight. If I know this is going to be an exhibition and it's a joke, okay,
a couple shots of vodka, Rob will get there.
Yeah, yeah. But it's in competitive fights. I'm game for that, and that's why I love BKFC, man. It doesn't get any more competitive, any more real.
I'm game for that, and I'm game for it to watch. And I do enjoy BKFC more than anything, like we said many times, because it's like no other. And if we're talking BKFC. We have to. We haven't talked about that yet. We have some BKFC news we want to talk about. So much going on. Paige Van Zandt. I don't know if you've been following her Instagram, her social. She's training hard. She's back and she's training really hard.
She looks hungry, man. She looks really hungry.
She's got Rachel.
Yeah.
So she's better be hungry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's got to win over. She's got to win over. We were in the office a couple days ago and we were rewatching her fight with her. Rachel's bigger. She has the size advantage on her. Looked like she had the strength advantage. She pulled off an armbar for the win. So
armbar for the win. Rachel Ostovich armbar for the win against, Paige Van Zandt armbar for the win against Rachel Ostovich. Now
Ain't
here's
no armbars in
that's
BKFC,
what I'm going towards. And Paige, I think maybe I'm talking out of turn here, but I think Paige found that out the hard way, as we all said during her fight with Britton Hart. Where's it at? During our fight with Britton Hart. Oh, Evan's not here today. I'm a feeling. I'm so used to Evan being here. During our fight with Britton.
There it is.
There we go. During our fight with Britton Hart, we all felt that maybe if it went another round, it might have gone a little differently. A lot of people were saying that because Paige, you could see, was figuring it out. Now, Rachel has fought in the MMA world, and now she's going to come fight Paige. Is Rachel going to have to figure it out where Paige is kind of a couple steps ahead of her? Paige is training harder. I saw Paige, the little bit of training I saw when she went against Britton, and I can see what I'm seeing on social media, and your suspender fell, Rob. His suspender fell down. You look good.
What is going on with this cheap shit?
So I saw her training.
Wardrobe malfunction.
She's got a pardon the pun, but eye of the tiger. She really does. And I'm excited to see what Paige is going to bring this time, because when I spoke with her after the fight, she said, I pretty much have it figured out. Now I know the direction I'm going in. And we can see that by her training. I think she looks great. The way she's hitting the pads and everything.
She looks quick. She looks really quick. She looks deadly now.
I haven't seen Rachel train, so I can't comment on that.
I know.
I mean, sorry, take a sip of my Tiger Life there. Our sponsor, I love them. I don't know either if that was officially announced, the fight. I might be talking out of turn there, but I'm excited to see that fight. I know people were talking about it online, the Rachel Ostovich fight. So I shouldn't be putting that out there because I say if we say it on the show, it's official. I'm not saying that's official. I'm just saying that's a fight that I would think she thinks she's going to get, and I would think Rachel thinks it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are pointing to that fight. It just makes sense. Why not? So if it's not inked, please ink it.
BKFC.
Dave Feldman, the powers that be, please get that fight done. I think it's the fight that everybody wants to see. And if not, let us know. Do they want to see Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich? Or do they want to see a run back with Britton Hart or somebody else?
Or just, drop it in the comments. Maybe you want to see somebody that we're not even thinking of against Paige Van Zandt. We'd love to hear from you. And there's so many new women signings in BKFC,
Dude, it's
too.
like every other day it's a new signing.
You can look, there's Rachel. We were just talking about her. You have Pearl, who I hear Pearl is an absolute killer. She has some insane records. She's relatively young, too, to be in the game. And you got... I'm going to mess names up, so I'm going to say...
Good luck with that.
Naja, you got her, and you got... I don't know, my cheaters on my glasses, so can you cover that last one for me, Rob? That last name, I can't see it.
Makarova?
Makarova.
It's Ekaterina. I know who it is. I'm just messing around with
I am so sorry, but...
How do you think I feel? I have to say these people's names, and I get nervous. I like Jamie Smith. It's so much easier. But... these are great fighters. This division, this women's division, and we're signing more by the day. It's exploding. So, Paige,
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I think there was 2 or 3 more signings. Just
how do you know this? Why does nobody tell me anything?
I heard it. I heard the contract coming
grapevine?
over. Yeah. So, not going to drop who it is, but more female fighters. The division is getting deep, man. And we put out the other day. Taylor Starling versus Carissa Sagala.
What a match!
What a fight! Fight of the year.
You put the
female fight of the year, but fight of the year.
It could be. It was. You put out the free preview for that, you guys, right? We did that
full fight.
So if you want to see that, if you don't have the app yet, which you can get the app and you should at BKFC.com. Go grab it. It's on the YouTube channel. You can watch the full fight, and you should. I think they each threw 200 and some punches.
Insane, man.
I remember Taylor telling me she didn't feel like she threw enough punches. And I'm like, no, you did, man. You really did.
Yeah, both of those warriors just brought it all. And the new signings, man, this division's really heating up.
Paige had said to me when I was doing my Sirius XM show with her that females fight differently, and I agree with her. It's just a different kind of fighting. It's a different kind of passion they show than the male fighters. I kind of understand what she means, so I'm looking forward to check out the division. And like I said, we might be talking about Rachel versus Paige, but Paige has her eyes on everyone. Paige is a pro. She has her eyes on everyone, and we're going to see who it's going to be. I'm excited for all the matchups. And from what I understand, you're saying we're signing more, but maybe I had my glass up to the door of the president trying to listen. He's on a phone call, but it seems like we're going to get, you said deep, but deeper. It seems like we're really interested in this female division, and the fans seem to love it too, with good reason. The female fights are always fun to watch.
Yeah, they are.
I was kind of bummed we didn't have one on the last show.
I know.
But that's going to happen. That's why we're making the division bigger, so we can have one.
Yeah, we'll keep the pool as deep as we can and keep adding these amazing fighters. And they keep showing we're going to be changing the name to, the male fighter is going to be 1 or 2 fights per show soon. Right. Man, they're stealing the show.
And it's interesting because years ago, I remember certain promoters saying they didn't even want female. Not in BKFC. We've never said that, but you can name them if you want. I'm not going to name them. I know who I'm talking about.
Dana White.
He said he would never put female fighters in the ring together, and then look at what he does.
Ronda Rousey, one of his biggest top grossing fighters, pay-per-view draws. Household names, etc.
Yeah, it's really worked for them, and it's working for us. And there's an appetite for people to see the female fights. So we'll keep going with that. I'm looking forward to that. There's so much to look forward to in BKFC with the other news. We have other stuff coming up too. This is something I'm looking forward to because I said earlier, I like the smack talk. I like the back and forth. Tyler Goodjohn. Yeah, he knows where I'm going right away. Tyler Goodjohn, Luis Palomino for the lightweight title, BKFC 18.
No love lost on those two, man. No love lost at all. I can't wait for that fight.
Who you picking right now?
Oh, man. I can't put me on the spot.
You did it to me last week. That's why I want to know.
You can't put me on the spot.
Well, analyze it a little bit, the fight.
All right, let's break it down. Let's really break it down. Tyler Goodjohn's last bout. If we're basing his future success off of one fight with, coming off of COVID, coming off of limited training, not giving any excuses to him, we'll get him on the show. He can air out everything. And I believe he did in the past. We can't base everything off of that. He is a decorated professional boxer. He was an undefeated bare-knuckle boxer overseas prior to that. So he has bare-knuckle experience. He has professional boxing experience.
Sure does.
His training now, he looks like a whole other fighter.
His body even looks more solid. He looks more. He got some more beef to him. He looks
healthy.
Healthy. Yeah.
And one of the things, Tyler Goodjohn is Tyler Goodjohn. We don't, like to box people up and tell them what to do and tell them how to live. But I think, and I'm just going to assume, his way of living may have interfered in the past of his performance. Meaning, I think some of his partying is what prevented him from his true showing versus.
I agree 100%. Like you can see right now, we're looking. It's all about weights, not dates. He was about the women before. He probably still is, but I think he's reined back a little bit. He was about maybe other nightlife things.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll, man.
And that's Tyler Goodjohn. But now he understands, well, I got to get ready for this fight. And you can't walk into a fight with Luis Palomino not ready. I mean, that guy is an absolute killer. I love him. A gentleman in true life, in real life. But at the fights, he intimidates me. I like, when I had to interview him before he fought Jim Ellers, and remember, Jim Ellers was talking a lot of trash. I had to interview him, and Luis and I have had a great relationship. I love him. It's a class act. He stood there, and I thought he was going to beat me up. I say it all the time. It made me nervous. Like, he did not want to talk. He wanted to fight. When he gets his fight on, when he gets in that zone, I mean, there's no stopping him. We saw what happened with Jim Ellers, who's a great fighter in his own right.
He was undefeated going into that bout, and he
made short work of him.
Yes,
one
round.
And then I'm not even thinking about this, but afterwards I was in the ring, and I guess we invited Tyler. You were saying before, we invited Tyler to come check out the scene, see what was going on. He'd never been to a bare knuckle before. We had just signed the guy, and then it got a little hairy there as well. And I think that's kind of what started their little beef together. Then it continued on social media. If you want to see what happened, BKFC.com, you can grab the app. We're going to show you some stuff. Here's the Jim Ellers fight with Luis Palomino that we were just talking about. Yeah, this... Speaking of don't blink, Uly's coming up later.
Just what you said. Palomino looks absolutely crisp, man.
Ferocious.
Great movement, great head movement. There it is. He got that shot off. And he just stalked him the entire time.
It was over. And he was even when I got in the squared circle with him. I mean, you can see here, Jim's like, oh. When I got in the squared circle, it was so intense. The crowd was going nuts. So also we have to remember, Tyler Goodjohn versus Luis Palomino is most likely going to be in Florida.
And as you, absolutely. And as you said, Tyler Goodjohn was there. He saw this fight. He was there ringside.
And we saw what happened after he jumped up there. I was in the middle of it, which I didn't even realize that he was coming in the ring. Nobody told me. Nobody clued me in. Did you guys even know that?
That overhand right, man. Palomino has got accuracy like no other fighter. So
you don't mess with him.
Yeah. So
look, you skated past my question. I want to know, did you guys know he was coming in that ring? Because I didn't know. Nobody told me.
So we'll keep moving. We're gonna move past that.
You knew. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. You invited him there.
Yeah, we invited him into the ring. He wanted to give his opinion on his quick opinion, which turned into madness.
But he wasn't supposed to be in the ring, from what I understood, until later. I didn't think he was going to come in that early. He jumped in, and it was very intense in that ring. You already have Luis Palomino, who's intense. Now you add Tyler, who's joking around. He thinks after he just trained for this victory that meant so much to him.
Because of that, and because another thing, now fighters are banned from entering the ring, or even so. Yeah,
well, good.
We're not going to go down that road anymore.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. I like that. But that pissed Palomino off, and I actually felt bad. That's what started this, and then Tyler kept running his mouth on social media, which I think he continues to do, and they go back. It's actually quite entertaining. It makes me want to see the fight even more. Do you think Luis is looking at the training Tyler's been doing, or do you think he's just kind of looking at the past Tyler against Felony? Because look, Felony or Dark, what's his name? We call him Felony now. Yeah, Felony. It's not going to be the same fight, with all due respect, as Luis Palomino. It's not. So he better come ready.
He better. I don't think Luis Palomino is looking past him, but he already said that he's not on his level. He's basing it off his previous fight with Charles Bennett.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I think Palomino's on he's the top tier. He's at the top of the level. So he's still training. I don't think he's taking it lightly, but I think he's not on the same level. But if he takes him lightly, if he sleeps on Goodjohn, it will be he's going to regret.
Well, let me ask you a reverse question. Do you think Goodjohn, with training hard and seeing where he has to go, can he get there? Can he get to that point of Luis? I believe he can if he concentrates on training. He can.
All right. So Goodjohn's last fight, he said, "I am taking." He didn't know. He didn't even do his research on his opponent.
Oof.
He just tried to come in and joke him, and you see it. And then you see a sense of urgency, though, in rounds 3 and 4. Like, whoa, I might be losing this fight. I could lose this fight, and this is my debut. So he took it lightly, but again, from the training of what he's doing, his living, he
can get there.
He's back. He's back.
He's going
so it's going to be a great fight.
I think
I'm
it's going to be a competitor. I'm looking forward to that. There's so much we're looking forward to, and on BKFC 18. I mean, it's packed. It's jam packed. You got Sam Shoemaker, Joey Beltran, the heavyweight title. Like, these guys are coming to throw, and on top of that, you've seen Joey fight. Joey will take shots. He doesn't care. But can he take a shot from Sam Shoemaker on that hard head that he has?
Yeah, man. I mean, those two guys, they both fought in BKFC 1.
Yep.
You know, Sam Shoemaker, flash knockout, Joey Beltran, fight of the night. I mean, they've got a date with destiny, man. This is a fight that has been coming, and it's in the works. It's been in the works since the first one. I know they were eyeballing each other after their debuts.
Oh yeah.
It has to happen. It's the fight.
And they're both very excited about the fight. I had them on at Knucklemania to talk about the fight when we announced it, and they're both so pumped up about it. I mean, they're going at it. You're looking at Shoemaker Prindle now. I mean, you can see when Sam gets pumped up and when Joey gets pumped up for a fight. And, you know, I think they have a deep respect for each other. Boom.
Oh, man. Knockout of the night.
A deep respect for each other, and a punch like that on either side, deep respect doesn't matter after that punch.
Lights out.
Yeah, it's lights out. You're there to do a job. So it's interesting to know they have deep respect, as does Uly Diaz, who's going to be on that card against Thiago Alves, and we're going to talk to him in a couple minutes.
BKFC 1, to see the evolution of both of these fighters to BKFC 18,
it's incredible.
Both of them in the main event. That's amazing. That's awesome. To see
what a story.
The evolution from both of those fighters. They're now main event fighters. That's... Hey, man.
Well, it's easy to see why if you've been following what they're doing. I mean, you look at Shoemaker's training, a little unorthodox at times. He does the sledgehammer. He moves the rocks. I think some of that's available on BKFC.com. If you grab the app, you can watch some of that. But the Shoemaker training, and then you look at Beltran's training. They're just working hard. I saw Joey in Miami, and Joey was just soaking wet in sweat in this sweatbox gym, putting the work in, looking trimmed down, lost a little bit of weight. He looked very healthy. He looked very happy. You know, he's been hanging around with Britton Hart now, and he had told me that if you don't think I can fight better happy than angry, you're crazy. Like, he's the happiest he's been, it sounds like.
So those two are together.
Yeah. And
wow.
Yeah. Well, I asked him about that. I'm like, people were saying
it's
online.
Official?
Yeah, I mean, look, I look at Joey. He's incredible. We're just watching him. But if you look at women when they get involved sometimes with athletes, it's a real question. I always reference Rocky, but women weaken legs, they say. And there's people on social media talking about maybe this Joey looks so happy all the time with these, you know, his nice poses.
You think maybe too happy?
That's what I asked him. And Joey said,
not hungry anymore.
No, he said, he goes, if you think I can't fight happy, because I've fought in different mindsets, he goes, and happy's probably the best one to fight in. That's the way he's taken. So that's where Joey's mind's at. Sam, I think Sam's excited to have the fight from what I can see with him, and I can't wait to talk to him one day soon. But it seems like he's excited for his family to see him fight in the main event and bring home the world title to his kids and stuff like that. I mean, that goes right with the guy Sam is. Sam's been training really hard. Sam is, I think, training in Camden, New Jersey right now with Rodney Rice, I believe.
Yeah, he's got a trainer over here.
No joke.
He's on the grind. Man, oh man, this is going to be a fight of inches.
I don't even know.
A fight of inches, man. I swear, I think it's going to be the fight of the night.
I don't even know how to even think about other than fight of the, but there's so many fights. They're all fight of the nights, but I don't even know how to think who's going to take that one. I mean, you look at both sides, and they both have the punching power, and they both obviously always come to win, aren't you?
They have the stamina.
So it's going to be my opinion. Either I have to look at it more. Either it's going to be a quick knockout, which is second round, right? Or it's going to go the whole way, and they're just going to blast. I think it's probably going to go the whole way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a battle of attrition of who wants it more. I think they're both training really hard. They've upped their camps. You know, they're bringing a high level of skill into this, and I really think it's going to come down to who wants it more, and they're going to really grind this one out. I don't think it's going to be a flash knockout. I think it's going to be a goddamn war.
Well, I've looked into both their eyes, and I can tell you when I was interviewing them, I always like to kind of think what I think when I do these interviews. You're up close, you're working with these guys a lot, and I see that in both their eyes. They're going to war. And you always see that, but it's a different kind of war, these guys. They both want it really bad. And when heavyweights go to war, heavyweights go to war, man.
That's fun.
Very excited. That's BKFC 18. If you want to order it, you want to watch it, along with all of our content, it's on the app at BKFC.com. Just grab it there. There's training footage. There's all kinds of interviews. There's all the past fights. And what I like is we have the tryouts. We kind of show you what goes on in the tryouts, to how important they are. Because Sam Shoemaker comes from the tryouts.
Yeah.
He tried out here in Philadelphia in our neck of the woods. And as we always say, what did he do? He broke the damn punching machine. So he cost the company money before he even got here. But that's the kind of money we like. We like when you break the punching machine. That shows what kind of guy you are.
Yeah.
But again, you can see it down there. You can download the app, grab it. Definitely do that. We have a lot of other stuff coming up today too, Rob.
Let me slide this in real fast.
Slide it in.
For those that are in the Texas area, tryouts are on the 15th.
That's right. They're coming.
Yeah. So get out there. If you have what it takes to become a professional fighter, if you think you want to be a fighter, show up, show them what you're made of. Let's see it.
So since you said Texas, I'm taking this way off here. I'm going to see if you know what movie this is from. So in the chat, by the way, Rob's not dressed like this for his own health. Rob's dressed like this for a certain reason. Let's get a shot of Rob here. Let's show him. Rob's dressed like this over here. It's from a certain movie. We want you to guess what movie in the comments section that Rob is dressed like. If you're listening to this on the pod, don't show them. If you're listening to this on the podcast, they can't see what you just did anyway. By the way, we're available on Spotify as well. And it's not Super Mario.
Who did that, man?
I think you look more like a Luigi anyway, man. I don't know.
I am kind of short and meatballish.
Short and meatballish.
You would be Luigi.
I'll be Luigi. They made millions of dollars too. They got movies, they got video games. Mario Kart. I'll have a nice new car. I was going somewhere with this, but I lost my train of thought. Oh, movies.
Okay.
So you were saying the trials are in Texas. What movie is this from? Ready? I'm on a payphone right now. Where are you? I'm in Texas. The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
That's right.
man.
There. I'm going to help you, too, in the comment section. I thought he was the dude when I walked in from Pee-wee's Big Adventure that beats him up at the truck stop. You know what I'm talking about? Like with the dinosaur. I thought that's who you were at first, but that's not who he is. So what movie does that come from? Let us know.
Oh, that's great, man.
As they comment and talk about Rob's wardrobe today and everything else. We're going to be back. We have a KO of the week coming up. We're going to do watch along, and we're also going to talk to Uly Diaz, the #1 ranked BKFC middleweight in the entire world, taking on Thiago Alves coming up at BKFC 18. All that's coming up. It's still to come on the show, but right now we're going to talk about one of my favorite sponsors. They keep me going. They keep me rocking. They keep me rolling. They keep me strutting. They keep me strolling. Tiger Life.
All right.
Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good. Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good.
Come on, do it. If you're here, you're going to do it. Or we're back. This guy, I know what movie it is. And like I said earlier, we were asking in the chat, what movie is Rob dressed like? Like from what movie? It took me a minute until he did something with his hat. Am I giving him too much? You put up your arm. He did something with his hat and I knew right away I was going to do it. I get nervous. Don't do that. No, Rob, I'm not. No, we're not doing this. You'll rip my. No, he's serious now. He's serious now. In the chat, let us know. Come on, you have to know what movie that's from. Terry Funk appears in this movie. He's a professional wrestler. Yeah, he appears in the movie. It's a great movie. And we were talking, maybe there's some truckers involved too. I don't know. There's all kinds of things. But put the hat back on. Oh, you're making me nervous.
My hair's getting
so we have
too
Uly
long,
Diaz,
man.
the monster, coming up in just a moment. Just a moment. His hat's all messed up now. Uly Diaz is going to come on. He's challenging Thiago Alves, BKFC 18. Very excited about that fight. There's so much I want to get into with Uly. I mean, this guy has such a story. He's got some interesting friendships, some best friends, huge superstars. Just his whole life. It seems like, again, if I'm making all these Rocky references, that's what I do, but 1,000,000-to-1 shot, right, from what he was going through. Yeah. We're going to find out what he went through before he got into fighting and what propelled him to where he is today to be the #1 middleweight in the world for BKFC ahead of this huge fight that he actually requested. So there's so much we're going to dig into, not only his personal life, but leading up to this. I know you have some questions too, Rob, for Uly. I mean, this guy, I will say this, and I hope he can hear this. I hope he's in our green room, but he's probably one of the best dressed BKFC fighters. The first time,
smooth, man.
He is. The first time I met Uly, I had to get him for a weigh-in, I think it was, and I never met Uly. And I walk up, this guy's dressed so nice. He looks like a superstar. He has this look to him. He's got his hair up, and he's all tatted up, and maybe you're profiling here, but you don't always expect, most people wouldn't expect someone that looks the way Uly does to be as nice as he is. And see, that's why it's good to do these things, because that's not at all true. I can't stand when people think like that. Maybe I thought like that. I walked up, and he was so nice, and I'm like, Brian, you jerk.
Yeah.
Uly's one of the nice guys. He does a lot of charitable outreach. I love that. He's always feeding the homeless. He's giving back to the stuff that he went through. I don't know if he was homeless, but the things that he went through, the struggles that he had, that he's seen. And I think that it's great to have a good fighter. We want that, but it's also great to have a good gentleman. He's a gentleman that works for us as well. So.
And I can't say that enough. I mean, we have so many of our fighters give back to the community. And at first glance, you think, wow, you're a BKFC fighter. You must be stupid. Why are you doing this?
Neanderthal.
Yeah,
not true
exactly. A lot of these fighters are extremely business savvy. They do a lot of charitable work. They are great ambassadors for the sport of combat. For combat sports in general. Excuse me.
I get to watch that when he puts it on his social media, and I actually sent him a message one time. It's inspiring. It makes you want to go out and do something.
It does.
His knockout too. We're going to get into that in just a moment. His knockout. He has the best knockout, the quickest knockout in combat sports history.
I want to talk to him. I mean, it was the fastest, but
would they say 3 seconds?
3-4 seconds.
No. See, you're adding on 3-4. Let's bring Uly in. I want to talk to him about that.
Yeah,
3-4. Uly, what's up, my brother? How are you? I can't hear you, Uly. Hold on. We'll get you situated. Make sure I can hear you. Uly, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, there he is. I can hear you now, Uly. Hey, so listen, we're arguing, Rob and I here in the studio at the BKFC show. First of all, it's great to have you on, but I have to jump right into this. We're talking about your Don't Blink, the fastest KO in combat sports history. I was getting ready to say they said it was 3 seconds, and Rob goes, "Oh, it's like 3 or 4 seconds." You're adding I say it was like 2.5. Uly, it's under 3.
Come on, Rob.
All love for you, brother. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Man, hey, listen, Brian, Rob, first of all, I want to tell you guys thank you so much for this opportunity. I truly appreciate you guys, man. You guys always show me love, and much respect and love to you guys always, man. And yeah, definitely. I think it was, I mean, I've timed it 100 times. It's between 1.5 and 2 seconds, man.
Whoa.
See, I'm saying 2.5. I'm overstating too. It was,
Wow.
I mean, the bell was ringing as the guy hit the mat, I think. It was insane.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah, because the referee told us knuckle up, and I took off, and when the bell rang, it was already that right hand was landing like simultaneously.
Now, Uly, is that something that you planned? Did you have that in the back of your mind? Like as soon as the bell hits, I'm just sprinting off the line and I'm coming right after this guy, or was that?
For that opponent, for Daniele, I planned that. I thought, I studied him, and I saw that whenever you put pressure on him, he's a tall guy, so he likes to extend his arms and put his chin up in the air. So I go, I'm gonna put pressure on him off the gate. If you hear Sean Wheelock at the beginning, he says, Uly said he was gonna start, do a fast start, and boom, I come out the gate, and the plan, I executed to perfection, man. It came out, the punch landed perfect.
Uly, it's funny because a personal story here. I was there next to the squared circle ringside, and I didn't even realize I'm sorry, I don't know, girlfriend, fiance. I don't want to get in any trouble. Dana Brooke.
That's fine.
From WWE.
Yeah, Dana Brooke.
Superstar.
Yeah, she's my girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Soon to be wife.
Really? All right, there we go. Like that. She's wonderful. It's a good. We love what you guys do together. But I'm standing there. There you go. That's right. A round of applause. Thank you. So I'm standing there watching the fight. The bell rings. I didn't even know what happened. All I know is that Dana Brooke was next to me. And I didn't realize she was next to me. She was trying to film it or something. She jumped up and it was like a WWE move. She almost like knocked me down in body. So you know where she was one on top of me. It was crazy. She was pumped. And then you jump over the ring ropes. Was that just, I mean, you had no regard for your health. You just said, be careful, be careful.
Yeah.
You cleared the ring ropes.
I prepared. Shit.
Sorry, technical difficulty. What do you got?
I'm sorry, guys. I
good,
never stopped preparing for this fight all through COVID. I was getting ready. I built a whole gym in my backyard, like you saw, Brian. I never stopped getting ready. So behind those 2.5 to 3 seconds, whatever you want to call it, there was a lot of hard work put in. And my adrenaline was through the roof, man. The fight lasted 3 seconds. I still had adrenaline. I had to jump over the rope. I had to, I was flying high, man. And it was an incredible moment in my life, man.
Of course it would be. Let's talk about your life a little bit. I mean, there's so much to uncover and unpack with you, Uly. I mean, we know a little bit about you, at least I do, but I don't know a ton about you. I know a little bit about your story. It's very inspiring. I know about your friendship with a huge celebrity. What's his real name, Rob, the huge celebrity? Can you remember how to say it?
I will not even go down that
He's not
road.
gonna try.
I attempt.
So we know about your relationship with Pitbull and how he's one of your best friends growing up. Now, you had told me that you use that when you talk to students, when you talk to children, you say Pitbull went one way and I went the wrong way kind of thing.
Right.
Can you speak on your childhood growing up and what drove you to go the wrong way, what that wrong way was?
Yeah. So how my childhood was is I grew up with a single mother. She's still around. Thank God. She's a great mom, always been a great mom. But I never had a male role model in my life. I never had a father, an uncle, a cousin. I never had anybody in my life to steer me in the right way. And I don't say this for a pity trip or a pity party. This is just the way my life was. And so I depended on my friends. Growing up, I like what my friends like. I played the sports my friends played. They were my family. And as a kid, I always felt like I was the protector of my friends. So I got in a ton of fights as a kid. As a juvenile, I went to juvenile detention center for fighting. As a young adult, I went to prison for fighting on the streets. On May 6th, just the other day, was 15 years to the day since I walked out of prison. And when I walked out, I wrote that on my Instagram. It wasn't an easy path. I was still trying to figure out what to do. I still went the wrong way. All I knew was kind of the streets and how to try to figure out things for myself. But I always knew I wanted to fight professionally. This was always a passion of mine and a dream of mine. And finally, 5 years ago, man, I gave it a try. It was going to be a bucket list thing. Take some pictures, tell my kids I did it. And when I knocked a guy in the first round 5 years ago, man, it was the biggest rush I've ever had in my life. And I said, I found my dream. And I finally found out what hard work is, what dedication is, what consistency is. And here I am today, man, 5 years later, fighting against Thiago Alves for the world title in BKFC, a huge promotion that's on its way to the top. I have the fastest knockout in combat sports history. And man, it's amazing. Here talking to you guys, it's just amazing what life has brought me in just this short period of time.
It definitely is. I'm excited to see watch you grow and watch your progression as well. Now, you mentioned your mother who's still alive, and she's seen your whole life. Yeah. She's been through all this, no father figure. Does your mother worry about you, or is she happy that you're fighting now? Does she watch the fights, or is she happy you've kind of found your way?
She's definitely happy that I've changed my life around, but she's always, like any mom, man. She watches my fights with her back turned to the ring. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like when I had the 3-second knockout, she's looking at the crowd, everybody erupted. So she's like, "What happened?" She turned around, I was jumping over the fence. So it's an amazing moment, man. And fighting has given me a great platform, man. I'm able, I have Fighting versus Hunger, where I'm able to feed the homeless. I've been able to go back to the juvenile detention centers where I was at as a kid and speak to these kids. And it's amazing what fighting has done for me. If you guys see my Instagram, I put "Fighting Saved My Life." That's a huge hashtag I use all the time because it's really saved my life, man. And I like to say, like, when I go speak to these kids, I come in with with these guys from the courts or with these guys from like Department of Children and Families, and not to put them down whatsoever, but they come in with their ties and their button-down shirts, and these guys never been in trouble in their life. Then I come in with them, and the kids, they stop and they listen, and I feel like they pay attention and they soak in more once they see a person like me that's actually been, in their shoes.
It's because you're real.
So I'm able to reach them,
Yeah, it's because you're real.
And Uli, if somebody's listening right now and is going down a similar path that you have gone down, and obviously you've changed your life for the better, what one piece of advice would you give to that person who's, going through the same things, going through the same struggles, that does not see the light at the end of the tunnel? Because especially the younger generation or younger kids, and they don't. All they see is the streets and then how rough and how hard it is right now. They can't see 5 years down the line. What one piece of advice would you give to them right now?
You know what, man? There's something that still works for me to this day is it's never too late, man. I went pro at 35 years old. I thought like old dogs and new habits. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I turned it around, man. And all it is finding whatever you love, whether it's fighting, whether it's mechanics, whether it's painting, whether it's doing a podcast. Mm-hmm. And one thing I found out, I used to live a day-to-day life, man. I finally found out what consistency is. You're not gonna get it overnight. It might take more than a week, more than a month. It might take a couple of years. But eventually, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you will find success in whatever you do. So just stick to find a good plan, stick to it. And, it's never too late, no matter what age you are, no matter, just stick to something. And I promise you, guaranteed, man, if I made it, anybody can make it.
Not only did you make it, Uli, but you're ranked #1 for middleweights in the entire world for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I mean, that's exciting. When we announced that, we did it right here in the show like we do a lot of stuff, and we made it official. You are such a man of the people. You popped into the chat and started thanking everybody, which was awesome. We think you're such a classy guy for doing that. Where were you at when you got alerted? Who told you that you were #1? Were you watching the show? It had to be exciting.
Yeah, well, I happen to be watching the show. Thank you guys, man. You guys are great. You guys gave me, a lot of compliments, and I truly appreciate it. I tune into the show. I appreciate you guys. I'm like I said, it's awesome to be a part of BKFC while it's on the rise, man. I fought for 10, I fought for 14. I'm fighting now on BKFC 18, so I'm part of the beginning of this, man. And it's a huge company. It's got great people behind it. And I like to be a gentleman of the sport, brother. Like I said, I grew up on the streets where there wasn't too much talking. It's about action. And I feel like I'm a man of action. Any word I tell you, anything I call you, if anything I say to you is not making you bleed or knocking you out, I've never seen anybody tell me anything that's hurt me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what I say. I like to put my my words into action in the ring.
So you were excited about that. Obviously, you can tell about being ranked #1. I can tell by your excitement now when we talk about it. You have a huge fight coming up, BKFC 18 in Florida, which is going to be amazing place to have it, against another Floridian, if that's the word that's correct, Thiago Alves. He's ranked #2 in the world for BKFC middleweights. What a great fight it's going to be. But you had told me some stuff. Let's get into this leading into the fight. One of the things I think is interesting is how you're preparing for this. Or let's go, actually, before we get into that, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I want to go back to when I spoke to you after your fastest knockout in the world, and you respectfully challenged Thiago Alves.
Wow.
Why was that fight so important to you?
Well, first of all, Brian, it's Floridian.
Thank you.
And because I know Thiago's a legend, man. My hat's off to Thiago. I'm a fan of his. I was a fan of his when he was in UFC. I know he had got, he signed a BKFC. I was there for his Julian Lane fight. I know we're in the same weight class, and this is I feel like it's a step up for me, but I feel it's something I'm ready for. And I feel it's something that me and him, fighting in South Florida, where I'm born and raised here, where he's been living here for a long time. We can bring a show to our people and to our fans and blow this thing out of proportion like it should be. And it's a super fight, man. Where we're bringing, you know what I mean? And not only is it a super fight, it's a super fight for a title, which if you asked me to write the best case scenario, I couldn't make this up. You know what I mean?
No, you couldn't.
So it's amazing, man. And it's crazy. Like, I like to say I have visions. I envision things. I manifest things, and I manifested this back in November when I spoke to you backstage, Brian. And it's coming to fruition. And he's put in the hard work. I put in the hard work, and everybody's gonna see us handle business on, in June now in BKFC 18.
Now your vision for this. Have you envisioned? The result. Some people say first round knockout, second round decision. What's your vision for this fight?
You know what? I don't want to answer that, just for the simple fact that I want to show the fans. Maybe as we get closer to the fight, I'll give you that. But I envision this fight every day. I see me walking out with my hand raised and that belt around my waist. You know what I mean? And I definitely see myself as a winner. All respect to Thiago, but I'm definitely coming ready for this fight. And again, I'm walking out with that belt in my hand raised. And as we get closer, maybe I'll tell Sean Wheelock on the press conference when he asks the question. I'll tell him exactly how I'm going to win it, just like I told him about that fastest knockout.
So that's great, man. You kind of predicted. That's actually smart. I always say that when we ask people to envision their fights or tell us strategies. He's not talking. That's smart. I'm always like, why are you telling me? I want to know, but why are you telling me? So, Uli, the thing that I looked at is we just showed, you couldn't see it, but we showed Thiago as he fought Julian Lane in his bare knuckle fighting championship debut. He went the distance. He went 5 rounds. I mean, you people were arguing over who truly won. I mean, it's cliche, but I think the fans won. It was a great fight. Now, I noticed if you look at it, he had 5 2-minute rounds in the ring, the distance. You've had a total of about, from my calculations, maybe I'm a couple seconds off, about 1:16 in your 2 fights because your knockouts have been so quick. Your endings, your fights have been so quick. Now, that's nothing to complain about. But does that concern you at all that he's had a little more time in the squared circle than you've had?
Not at all, because I train, you know what I mean? It's in training is where everything should be hard. The fight should be easy. It's a cliche. Train hard, fight easy. But I take that, into account, man. I train my butt off. I'm training with the best. I put in the work I need to put in. And that's why it shows on fight night, man. Everything erupts on that night. And that's how I feel it should be. He had a great fight with Julian Lane, not to take nothing from either one of them. I think it could have gone either way, honestly. But, he got the win, and here we are, me and him, BKFC 18, man. About to,
It's going to be awesome.
And like I told you, I got the vision in my head. You guys are going to see it come to fruition that night.
That's right. BKFC.com to grab the app. It's 4 title fights. You're not going to miss this. Before we let you go, you mentioned earlier on in the conversation about the Jungle Gym. I actually got to see it. We were there filming you, and it's incredible. You built a gym in your backyard. Thiago, of course, trained at AT&T. I liken it to the Russian and Rocky IV and Rocky, that kind of thing. So that's interesting. But what really stuck out to me, I'm not sure anybody knows this, in conversation you told me, as you work out in your backyard, this awesome jungle gym you call it that you built, your trainer, top-notch trainer, is it true that he lives like right behind you? You can just hop the fence and be there to train with you every day?
Man, I couldn't make this up. I moved into the house about 2.5 years ago now. Well, I mean, I knew him from before. I just didn't know he lived behind me. I go around the block one time and I see him coming out of his car. It was a match made in heavy, man. We've been training ever since. It's been over 2.5 years now. We've been training together. I'm undefeated with him. He's like a father figure to me in life and in the sport. 40 years in the boxing game, Hall of Famer. He's 5-0 in BKFC between me, Hector Lombard, and Dylan Kleckler. So yeah, man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing where I'm at today. Jungle Gym, being able to build that during COVID has been a blessing. And I don't take anything for granted, my guys. I'm working my butt off, man. Working my butt off on a daily basis to show what I got. You know what I mean?
Hey, I saw you working. I saw you working down there. I know you're working your butt off, and I know you got to get back to working your butt off here in a second. So I guess, Uli, we're going to let you go back to do what you do best, go back to creating the monster. But before I go, a special request. Can you do you seem so nice. You're a classy gentleman, but then you do the monster. Ah! There it is. See that monster face, man. It makes me nervous. Uli the Monster Diaz versus Thiago Alves coming up. BKFC 18, BKFC.com. You want to grab the app so you can watch it. 4 title fights. We're very excited. Your fight for the middleweight championship of the world for BKFC. It's going to be awesome, Uli. We're looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on, my man.
Thanks, Uli.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Thank you, BKFC, and thank you, everybody, for the opportunity. You guys have a great day. I appreciate you guys.
You appreciate you.
Don't blink.
No, we won't. Don't even swing at me. I'm nervous now. We have a lot more. Uli's so great because he's such a nice dude, but I wouldn't mess with him ever. We have other stuff come up here in a couple minutes. Thank you to Uli for coming on. And again, you can listen on Spotify if you're kind of watching this and you don't have time to finish it. We'll finish up on Spotify. We have just audio version, just a podcast version you can download there. But as we get into this, we have the KO of the week coming up. We're gonna do a watch along here. I think let's do this since we just had Uli on. It would make sense. It would make sense to do the fastest KO ever watch along. You want to throw that on really
watch
quick?
it right now.
Let's see if our producers are usually on top of things. If they have that up for us, we'll throw it up right now. We're going to watch the entire fight, but don't blink.
Yeah, don't blink. And as you can see, his opponent had he had the height advantage. Reach is about the same. It's just strange,
This is what Uli was just saying to us. He knew the guy had the height advantage. He knew what he was going to have to do. So now, after we just spoke to Uli, it's always fun to watch these fights after you talk to the fighters and you have the interviews because you're inside their head a little more.
Get their perspective of what they saw in the ring.
And we can look for things. And Uli, like he said, he told me that right after he manifested this. Dana Brooke, his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, what we just found out.
Yeah,
at least that's what he said. Congratulations. We might have broken a news story there. She manifested it too. She had told me the same thing. She said she had a dream about it.
Did she?
Yeah, and the power of the mind is a very important thing. I think, especially in any kind of sport, when you visualize what you're going to do ahead of time. I really think that helps.
Well, whether they're a BKFC fighter, a boxing, MMA, you hear a lot of professional athletes say that I saw this, I envisioned this, I see the finish line all the time.
I feel like you almost have to. Those who say they don't, it confuses me. I guess they're built differently. But so this is the debut here. Here he comes walking out. And the thing is, I always think about these guys. They're on the other end of the highlight reel. Like how he feels being that high. He's going to be there forever. I can't see anybody. I shouldn't jinx him beating a 3-second KO.
It's not happening.
It's almost impossible to do it in boxing now because you got to wait to come to the center.
Because the way that I'm not even going to say. For those that haven't watched this, I'm going to let it roll out, and then we can kind of go over it step by step and analyze the quick 3 seconds.
Analyze. We can't even get through the whole word analyze. I'll tell you, I'd like to analyze what people are saying after the show. I like to read the comments and stuff. I'd like to know if you were watching this show live or if you saw this without knowing the finish. Did you perceive this as sometimes when you watch guys walk to the squared circle, you can see it in their eyes. You can go, oh, this one's going to be quick, or you know. Did you think it was going to be this quick? I don't think anybody thought it was, but Uli and Dana Brooke thought it was going to be this quick. I don't think anyone else did.
It's only 2 people in the world.
That's right. I'd be curious to see if you knew that or thought that going in, because I hadn't seen much of his opponent here until this night, so I didn't know what to think. But we hadn't seen much of Uli though either at this point. What, minute 13?
Yeah, well, you said it earlier, man. Looks can be deceiving.
That's right.
I thought this was going to be a long war. I did not think what happened would happen.
No, and they love Uli in Florida.
Oh,
they love him everywhere.
Town, man.
In Florida, they love him. Now you see him coming out. He's ready. He seems, obviously focused but relaxed. He's enjoying the fanfare, and you can't. I mean, I love that. Some guys are blind to the fanfare. They're deaf to it. They don't hear it. Uli seems like he's happy to be there, walking out, but he's got the eye. He's ready to go. The monster. I wasn't joking, man. He puts that face on, the monster face, I call it. And there's this trainer, I believe that's the guy that he's talking about that lives behind the guy he just hugged. And there's Dana Brooke from WWE Superstar with him as well. That's crazy. He didn't know that his trainer lived like right behind him.
Yeah, that would surprise me if I walked around the block and you were my neighbor, Brian.
Right? What an accountability factor too. I mean, if you're like a little tired that day, you don't want to wake up.
Oh yeah, there's no excuse, man. They're kicking on your door. Yep.
That's. I doubt that Uli needs accountability, but I guess everyone does sometimes. Confidence.
But as you,
Jeff Houston, here he goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the bare knuckle 195-pound division. Presented to you by BetOnline.ag. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight, he wears black and green. His official weight, 192 pounds. He holds a combined combat sports record of 7 professional fights. Fighting out of Miami, Florida. Here is Daniele, the Slim Reaper,
I like the Slim Reaper.
His opponent fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black and gold with camouflage trim. His official weight, 186.2 pounds. His pro record stands at 12 victories opposite a single defeat and is undefeated as a bare knuckle fighter at 1-0. Here is the fighting pride of Miami, Florida, Uly the
And there are the official words from Jeff Houston, the outstanding Jeff Houston in his big red
one and only,
with
man.
his red suit, the one and only. Hello, hello, hello. I can't do it. I never can.
All right.
Now here it comes. Just watch this. They're towing the line. Listen to the bell.
And that's it.
Done. That's what I said. I don't think the bell even finished before he
The bell was
fell.
still.
Look, Uly's pumped. See how he jumped over
Sounding.
that? What an athlete. Jumping over the ropes. He's pumped up. Now, he's such a nice guy. He got all pumped, and he's going over to check on the guy. Uly's awesome. Look at that. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what even happened.
Yeah, it doesn't even
And I
know
was
where he's
ringside.
at, man.
There was actually a really good shot that Evan, who is our director of content, caught of that knockout as well. I don't know if we have that, but this is the one on the app. That's why it's important you follow our social medias and stuff, because we release exclusive content there as well. There's Evan right there. He already knows world record. He's yelling world record. That was less than 3 seconds. I think.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. The bell was still ringing while that occurred.
The bell was ringing while he got his bell rung. With all due respect, because
I've got a strange question, and this
that
might
makes me
sound
nervous when you say that.
This might be a stupid
Here it is
question.
again. Hold on. Here it is again. Let's just watch this again. Bop.
Oh man.
Oof. Yeah.
Wow.
See, Lidl's saying too if you can hear you.
He cleared the top rope.
He's a world-class high jumper as well, Uly Diaz. Look at this here.
Look.
Watch his shot. Watch his shot. Watch his face here. Watch his eyes.
Oh. And it doesn't get any better
He
than that.
looks at him. He's like, oof. Done.
Yeah, he was knocked out before he hit the floor, and the ref knew it.
Man.
Good stoppage. Good stoppage.
Good job with BKFC ref officiating there. Andy Glenn. Shout out to Andy Glenn. He knew. Look at him.
One of the best in the business.
I agree. Look how pumped you. I keep saying I get so excited. I get excited for Uly. You can tell that's just a natural adrenaline rush right there.
So what I was saying
What was your
is,
strange question,
it's a
Rob?
strange question, stupid question. You're training your ass off for your opponent. You're expecting a fight, and it ends in the blink of an eye,
Yep.
right? So it's almost like this fight, or even
Lights are still out, by the way.
Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo and his fight. It's so fast. You're expecting a war, but obviously you're happy for the win. But you think in the back of their mind, well, I kind of wanted to test myself.
Let's go back to Jeff and we'll answer that.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Andrew Glenn, steps in and calls a stop to the fight for the fastest recorded knockout in bare knuckle history at 3 seconds into round number 1 for your winner by KO Uly the Monster Diaz.
There he is, Uli Diaz, big win.
If you call yourself the monster, you
better
be able to back it up. And boy, did he back it up,
He
man.
sure did, man. He sure did with a KO like that. It's incredible. But to answer your question, I don't think it's a stupid or strange question at all. I've actually thought of that. You prepare so hard, you're saying, and now the fight's
so
over
quickly.
like that. The way I would have to answer that, never stepping in to do professional fighting, would be that you're making your money, right? So you're going to encounter less damage. And this is me as a businessman. I don't know if someone with fighters in their blood would think differently. They might want to have the fight. I would think as a businessman, I'm getting out of this. It extends my career now. I've made more money.
Sure.
Again, Uli, in his 2 times at BKFC, I totaled him. He has like a minute and 16 seconds total in the squared circle. So he's got 2 paydays, right? He's making himself more known. People like that he's ending the fights quick. They're getting behind him. And now he has less damage to his body, less miles on the road. Maybe that's the way of thinking of it. He didn't seem too concerned that he has less time in the squared circle than Thiago has.
Well, it almost gets to the point where you're so good and you smoke your opponent so fast. It's like, well, how good are they? They're not really, competitive. It's almost go back to the Mike Tyson days in his early days of just knocking everybody out in the first round. They're like, well, there's nobody really competitive, and he was just smoking everybody. Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, Thiago, not that they're not all competitive, the ones that Uli's fought, but Thiago could be, we never know. Much like Tyson, you would never know. That was part of the draw. If he was going to smoke him or what could happen. There's that 1-2% of disbelief, and that makes you want to watch.
Sure.
Thiago, there's more than, with all due respect, Uli, there's more than 1 or 2% belief that he's going to win. You know what I mean? So this could be Uli's first L.
This is his toughest opponent to date by far.
I saw Thiago in a debut fight Julian Lane to all the way 5 rounds. It was a war. So if Thiago's willing to do that with Julian Lane, Julian hits hard. If he's willing to do that with Julian Lane, and this is for a title, this is a whole another bowl of wax. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
That's going to be an exciting fight.
It's going to be very exciting. We have our knockouts of the week to get to yet. Let's see if we can do it. I'm going to do it. Ready? Here we go. Knockout of the week. Whoo! They're always ready in the truck. They're number one. Number one. Thank you for that. So knockouts of the week. The first one, I believe, is your knockout of the week. They haven't told me what it is yet. Let's watch.
I thought you were going to be up.
Oh, who's first? I don't know who's first. Whoever's first is first. Just put it
I
up.
don't know.
We'll
Let's show the knockout, whether it's mine or Brian's or from one of the users.
It's Rob's knockout. So
that is my knockout of the week.
Explain this, Rob.
All right, this is why you do not mess. You just don't mess with people, man. Female cop just goes in. Look at this.
Oof.
Oh, look the kicks, man. That is no joke. I think this is from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
So you have no clue what went on there.
Nah, man. She's just clearing house, dude. She's just clearing house.
My question to you, Rob, is why do you always pick knockouts of the week that look like they're in convenience stores or bars right next to soda machines?
I love, dude.
They're always next to soda machines.
I love that organic,
So do I.
fly on the wall. You're in like the most random spot, and this shit hits the fan.
Look at this guy. He's like, whoa. I'm gonna slow everything down a little bit. You're not slowing anything down.
That's the wild stuff, man. I love that.
I enjoy that too.
And the stuff that the fight, anyone can see the Floyd Mayweather stuff, the highly popular. It's those tidbits, those knockouts, those fights, those
the organic stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking on the organic stuff, so you picked that. I picked this. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I saw this from, I believe it was the Sports Center Instagram.
Okay.
It blew my mind. This is a couple weeks ago where I wanted to make this my knockout of the week. I said I'd find time for it. I don't even know either guy's name. I don't know where it occurred. If you know that, please drop it in the comment section. I'd like to find out.
What is it?
This is incredible. This guy gets you'll see. Let's put it up. He gets his legs swept. Watch. And then he comes up after he got his legs and knocks the guy with a kick.
Stop. Really?
I mean, I don't follow Muay Thai. It's a Muay Thai falling knockdown, they're calling it. If that's what Muay Thai is all about, I got to watch more Muay Thai too. I mean, look at this. Sweeps the leg, and he's able to jump off the sweep, come up, and how do you do that, Rob?
Dude, to generate that much power while you're going down with your opposite leg, man, that's impressive. That's an awesome knockout, man.
So I know it blew my mind. That's why I want to know who these guys are, and if you know where this took place, let us know in the comment section. Love to know that. Rob, where are they at? They're supposed to be coming here and clearing the table out. I didn't tell you this. We're actually going to try to recreate that knockout. Do you want to move the table? How do you want to do it?
No, I'm going to pass on that one.
So I don't know if anybody in the chat got it right. Let's talk about that real quick because I don't know if I may have screwed up the fan knockout of the week this week. I don't know if we have one. Do you know if we have one?
I don't either.
Let's see.
Sorry.
Let's see on my thing. Okay, I screwed it up. I'll be honest. Or did you screw it up?
We
take turns every week, and then we get down here and we don't look. So if you send a fan knockout of the week, and that's great. You can continue to send them in. We have a little thing on the bottom of the screen that's going to tell you where. I should know this by now. I think it's what is it, podcast at Knuckle? I don't know. It's going to show up.
Last time we had about 15 sitting in the inbox, so I think we need to do a little bit of a better job.
It's not that we don't care about the fans. We enjoy seeing what you have to say. info@bareknuckle.tv. But sometimes there's so much that goes into putting the show on that we get on the air and we go, oh, we forgot. So send it in, and maybe we'll do 2 next week if we have a lot of them.
Cool.
Also, where was I going with this? There was another thing that I want to talk about with the knockouts of the week is that it's a way for us to kind of communicate with you a little more and talk to you, see what you like, see if you're enjoying. Do you like these organic knockouts that Rob keeps picking? I do. I actually try not to pick the organic ones because you always have such good ones.
I'm entertained.
So am I. So it's been a great show today. I think
pleasure, sir.
It was awesome with you as always. Awesome to have Uli on here. This is where we do the Tiger Life toast at the end, and we thank everybody. We cheers it up. We knock back a TL here. Tiger Life, baby. Remind you the BKFC 18 is taking place coming up in June in Florida. BKFC.com for all your needs. Hit us up. And we're going to see him next week. And keep commenting on what this clown is dressed like. Because should we tell him yet or no?
I am dressed like... And that's it for today's show.
All right, that's it. Then we're just going to say this. We're going to knuckle up maybe in an arm wrestling match. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Let's go.
See you guys.
Turn your hat around. Be a tough guy. Come on.